Nigeria seeks collaboration with international money transfer organizations to drive economic growth in the country.
It is clearly one of the ways in which we can boost foreign exchange supply and investment, funding for investment in the country.
Nigerians in Diaspora Commission and Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to kick off Diaspora Mortgage Scheme in 3 months. Delta State Governor Sheriff Oboriwori visits Okwama community with assurance of safe return of indigents who fled the community. Hello and welcome to the News Desk at 3 on NTA News 24. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. President Bola Tinubu is expected to open the African Counter-Terrorism Summit in Abuja on Monday, April 22nd. Nigeria, with the support of the United Nations Office of Counter-Terrorism, is organizing a high-level African Counter-Terrorism Summit under the theme Strengthening Regional Cooperation and Institution Building to address the evolving threat of terrorism. A statement by the Presidential Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngalale, indicates that the objective of the summit is to enhance multilateral counter-terrorism cooperation and reshape the international community's collective response to terrorism in Africa, while emphasizing the importance of African-led and African-owned solutions. The summit is equally expected to provide a platform to review the nature and severity of the threat of terrorism on the continent, with a view to agreeing on concrete strategic priorities and measures to address the scourge. Heads of state and governments and high-level government officials across Africa, representatives of international organizations and multilateral institutions, members of the diplomatic corps, and members of civil society groups are expected to attend the summit. UN Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed is also scheduled to attend the event. It was a week-long set of engagements and conversations on the global economy at the spring meetings in Washington, D.C., with the Nigerian delegation led by the CBN Governor and the Minister of Finance. Muplang Dakok reports that, among many things, Nigeria looks forward to the ratification of the third chair of the IMF for Sub-Saharan Africa. It also looks forward to increasing power generation from 4,000 megawatts to 6,000 in the next 6 months, as well as attracting various investments for the country.
We've come away with a bigger say for Africa through an additional chair, an additional seat on the board of directors of the IMF. We helped to complete that process, and I think that is a major success for Africa as a whole. In terms of remittances, it is clearly one of the ways in which we can boost foreign exchange supply and investment, funding for investment in the country.
The policymakers, who say they are mindful of tackling infrastructure, security and other challenges through prudent management of resources, also had discussions with international money transfer organizations to set up a collaborative task force to drive economic growth in Nigeria.
Foreign portfolio investors has been very positive, and it shows in the numbers. We are doing everything possible to ensure that we have a stable exchange rate and an exchange rate that is, that finds it's an adequate price discovery level. That is a process that will continue.
The CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso The Nigerians in Diaspora Commission and the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria have assured Nigerians in the diaspora that the Diaspora Mortgage Scheme will be in operation within the next 3 months. This assurance was given during a strategic meeting between the two parties as they drew out next steps on the continuity of the project. Deborah Balabubo reports.
The NITCOM boss, Abike Dabiri Erewa, agreed with the Managing Director of Federal Mortgage Bank Nigeria, Mr. Shehu Usman Usidi, that an extended 3-month test run will be done to avoid lapses on the portal in the long run and to enable the new head of the bank get acquainted with the project.
The key thing is there's no rush. It's better to have a perfect product than start a project and then, because this is a catalyst for a lot of things for Nigeria and for the diaspora. So it's a catalyst, and we're glad that we have a minister who actually, is even driving this even more than both agencies.
Usman Osidi noted that providing a platform where diaspora Nigerians can access funding facilities for housing projects is one of the pragmatic steps from the federal government in recognition of their contribution to the economic development of the country.
Madam Chairman, we have come to seek your understanding and indulgence to enable the bank to conclude due diligence on the product and set new dates which would not be too far from the current schedule.
The Diaspora Mortgage Housing Scheme is primarily targeted at Nigerians in the diaspora to help them become homeowners in their country and create credible investment opportunities for themselves and other Nigerians. In Abuja, Deborah Balagubo, NTA News.
Officials of Niger and Kebbi states have agreed to set a timeline for relevant documents on the boundary between both states to be studied so that the National Boundary Commission can use them to determine how best to resolve the dispute. This was part of the resolution at a meeting in Abuja. Kelvin Evonaye reports.
The Kebbi-Niger interstate boundary spans a distance of about 640 kilometers. It has been relatively peaceful until recent complaints by the Kebbi state government over alleged encroachment by Kwankoso community of Bogu local government area of Niger State. This meeting of officials from both states was at the instance of the National Boundary Commission to resuscitate initial work on the boundary to prevent possible hostilities.
So it's not something that we go and grab by force. I think we are past the stage of anybody wanting to go and snatch any part of anybody's territory by force. It's quite key that we must ensure we sensitize people properly, let them appreciate what issues of boundaries are all about.
Delegations from Niger and Kebbi states are to go back and revive their state boundaries committees and jointly sensitize the affected communities ahead of the actual fieldwork by the National Boundary Commission. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewonoye, NTA News.
Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborewori has visited Okwama community in Ewu Kingdom of Ugeli South Local Government area of Delta State with an assurance of the safe return of indigents who fled the community in the wake of the crisis involving the killing of 17 officers and soldiers on March 14th. Tessie Coker reports.
Okwama community in Ewu Kingdom, Ugeli South Local Government area of Delta State. It is exactly a month and 6 days after the 17 military personnel were murdered in this community. An agrarian community hitherto bubbling with life before the incident. The community has remained inaccessible until now. Governor Oborewori is here on a tour to see things for himself. The governor arrived in the company of Commander of the 63rd Brigade, Brigadier General Onachukwu Ugochukwu, and top government functionaries.
The Okwama 17 is something that we did not expect to happen, but it wasn't what we bargained for. Why I've come here to see how the innocent people can be relocated back.
Governor Sheriff assured the people that his government is doing a lot to effectively resolve the dispute to enable the people of Okwama return home. Governor Berewori applauded President Bola Tinubu for keeping his words that innocent citizens will not be victimized in the course of the investigation. It will be recalled that the incident made the people of the community flee their homes for fear of being attacked. In Okwama, Tessie, Koka, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Nigeria Customs Service, Kebbi State Command, has confiscated contraband from smugglers worth over 126 million naira. Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports that the items, which include food, drugs and other materials, were seized from different parts of Kebbi State over a period of 2 months.
The seized items include 212 bags of 50-kilogram foreign parboiled rice and 28 bags of 25 kilograms of the rice, 200 jumbo-sized bales of used clothing and 50 bales of normal size, 10,025 liters of PMS, 39 lumps of Indian hemp, and 300 wraps of 5-milligram diazepam tablet. Others are 78 rolls of diclofenac tablet, 57 bags of sex enhancement drugs, 150 expired powder milk, and 50 pieces of used tires and 20 pieces of rims. The rest are 20 cartons of foreign spaghetti, 20 bags of foreign sugar, and 10 jerry cans of vegetable oil. The Custom Area Controller, Kebbi State Command, Ehinacho Ernest Ojike, restated the commitment of the service to ensure smuggling activities are reduced to the barest minimum in the state.
And we also engage in sensitizing the host communities as to the dangers of smuggling. Of course, we all know that smuggling is injurious to the economy as well as the well-being of the citizens of this country. Also, smuggling portends grave danger to the security of the nation.
The confiscated drugs were handed over to the NDLEA and NAFDAC officials in the state. The custom boss also disclosed that, in spite of the border closure, the command has recorded 125 increase in revenue generation as compared to the 2 previous months. In Birnin Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
You're watching the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. More reports after this break. Thanks for staying with us. The commander, Nigerian Navy ship Soro Commodore Nanma Lakan, has warned criminals to desist from crude oil theft and other illegalities in the marine domain to avoid consequences. Commodore Lakan gave the warning during surveillance that led to the discovery of illegal storage refinery site in Rivers State. Ebinimizi Timiola reports.
The fight against illegal refining of petroleum products in the Niger Delta region by the Nigerian Navy ship NNS Soro is yielding positive results. The latest is the discovery of an illegal refining storage site at Okolomade community in Abua Odua local government area of Rivers State. 3 tanks loaded with illegally refined AGO, pipes used for illegal refining, and a tricycle loaded with bags of crude oil were discovered. The commander, Nigerian Navy ship NNS Soro, Commodore Nama Lakan, said the discovery of illegal refining storage site is sequel to credible intelligence received by NNS Soro on suspicious activities taking place at Okolomade community, which necessitated the deployment of a quick response team to the location.
With what we have seen now, I'm still pleading with the perpetrators of this criminal act to please desist from it, because the last time I told them that we are coming all after them, and I showed them that the long arm of the law will surely catch up with them. So it is my candid advice, for now they should stop this environmental pollution, crude oil theft, pipeline vandalism. They should stop it. It's not good for our country, it's not good for our economy.
The Nigerian Navy ship NNS Sorrow, while still on surveillance, arrested 3 suspects conveying illegally refined products for sale. From all indications, NNS Sorrow is not relenting in its responsibilities, as it could be recalled that the command at last week arrested 3 suspects with a truck loaded with 12,000 litres of illegally refined AGO. Ebinimi Zitemiola, NTA News.
Elsewhere, the 13th Brigade Nigerian Army has emerged overall winner of the 2024 82 Division Inter-Brigade Corporal and Below competition held in Calabar. The brigade garnered a total of 6,940 points to defeat 4 other participating formations. Paul Abel reports.
To showcase their stamina, endurance, team spirit and confidence were these participants' dream from various brigades and formations under the 82 Division Nigerian Army. Events competed for include 10 kilometers cross-country run, map reading, range classification and obstacle crossing. The General Officer commanding 82 Division, represented by the Division Training Officer, Brigadier General Okume Ejeri, lauded participants for exhibiting a high level of commitment and discipline while giving their best in the defense of their formation flag.
To remind us all that beyond these extra-regimental activities, we must not be complacent with our primary role of ensuring the safety of our dear nation, Nigeria. The fast-changing security environment and the evolving threats in our area of responsibility calls for proactive and pragmatic approach to tame this hydra-headed monster.
Individual participants and formations who distinguish themselves in various activities were also awarded. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
Successful candidates of the 2024 Joint Admission and Matriculation Board examination will be among the first batch of beneficiaries of the Students' Loan Scheme in line with the Renewed Hope agenda on education. Chairman, Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TET Fund Muntari Dandutse stated this during an oversight of the ongoing JAM exercise in Kaduna. Haruna Mohammed reports.
The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAM, is a reliable measure for candidates' ability that determines their suitability for tertiary institution. And this visit by the Chairman Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TET Fund to centers in Kaduna is to inspect the exercise so far.
From one center to the next, including the 1,000 capacity mega Joint Admission and Matriculation Board Hall, the Senate Committee Chairman goes inspecting the exercise. Addressing candidates in the waiting hall, the Senator admonished the candidates to be of their best behavior while encouraging them to put in their best and be good ambassadors of Nigeria.
They are following due process to ensure that this exams is being carried without any challenges. And I am certain that what I have seen on ground, based on my oversight visit, I think is worthy of praise.
A short proficiency and availability of the student loan scheme to all in line with the Renewed Hope agenda for the education sector.
It's accessible to each and every candidate who has admission in various universities, polytechnics and colleges of education, and also vocational centers. So this is a very important development in terms of achieving a sustainable and uninterrupted educational system in Nigeria. So we remain grateful to the President.
The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board examination exercise is to end on the 29th of April 2024. The inspection exercise also serves as a platform for the Senator to chat with principals and custodians on the way forward for the conduct of the 2024 West African Senior School Certificate Examination in Kaduna. Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
The Lagos State government has continued to replicate programs in the Renewed Hope agenda of the federal government with a view to making lives more bearable for residents, especially the indigent across the metropolis. Musa Toliat in this report takes a look at efforts by the Lagos State government to drive the Renewed Hope initiative through some ministries and departments of government in the state.
And today, the intervention programs by the Lagos State government has given her a lifeline to live purposefully and actualize her dreams.
I would like to say very thankful to the governor, and the money given, I will be able to use it to take good care of myself. I plan to invest this in affiliate marketing and other vocations.
This year we decided to focus on not just widows, but also the elderly, people living with disability, and the vulnerable women in our society.
Lagos State government has continued to drive the Renewed Hope initiative through various human-centric interventions powered by ministries, departments, and agencies of government across the metropolis.
We want to take people out of poverty. The bottom line is we want to identify the needy in our society and be able to support and help them.
Based on information made available, the coming days will see Lagos State government launch Lagos Cares to ensure effective coordination and administration of the Renewed Hope interventions in the state. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
And from Enugu comes the report that the Renewed Hope Conditional Cash Transfer Program has brought succor to many families in the state. Beneficiaries of the cash transfer say it has made life more meaningful to them. Chiegonu Aro tells us more.
In Enugu State, the beneficiaries are overwhelmed by the impact of the cash payment.
I'm very, very grateful to be one of the beneficiaries. In fact, yesterday that I received the alert, I was excited. I rushed to my children's school and paid their school fees immediately. Before, I don't used to pay their school fees on time. Before I paid their school fees, maybe they will send my children out from the school.
For my first time experience, I'm so glad to be part of it. And it added so much to my business because it's made me to add some products to my small scale business.
The implementation process, which is done in phases across all the states of the Federation through the capturing of the biometric data, BVN and NIN, has been described as impressive if sustained and properly appropriated.
Program, just the last discussion by the Ministry of Trade and Investment, they made a notice that by 19th they'll start disbursing the cash in tranche to a lot of the demographics, 70% women and youth, and 15% to other demographics, 5% to senior citizens.
It's a very, very good idea. If you match it with the constitutional cash transfer, the major thing is to make more money available to the people.
It is expected that about 62 million Nigerians will benefit from the laudable program geared towards eradication of poverty. In Enugu, Chiegonu Aro, NTA News.
In other news, the Nigerian Film Corporation, NFC, says the nation's filmmakers must be commended for their commitment, doggedness, ingenuity, and sacrifices made towards the development and growth of Nigeria's creative economy, with its attendant positive impact on the country's gross domestic product. In a statement issued by Brian Etuk, NFC's Director of Public Affairs, Dr. Ali Nuhu, NFC's Chief Executive Officer, noted that the immeasurable contributions of the film sector in terms of employment generation, wealth creation, and content provision for both small and large screens has accounted for the nation's successful economic diversification. According to Nuhu, Nigerian filmmakers over the years have unreservedly engaged in film production and other ancillary activities on a sustainable basis across the length and breadth of the country, which have attracted several domestic and offshore commendations and a more quest for direct and indirect investment inflow. The statement, which was released in commemoration of the 2024 World Creativity and Innovation Day, is optimistic that 2024 will provide another opportunity for Nigerian filmmakers to reflect on how to utilize the enormous power of creativity and innovation to engage in storytelling that promotes positive morale, peaceful, patriotic and resilient people including Communities for a Greater Nigeria. You've been watching the News Desk at 3 on NTA News 24. Here is a look at our major stories. Nigeria seeks collaboration with international money transfer organizations to drive economic growth in the country.
It is clearly one of the